Hello everybody, I am back. This month, YouTube-wise, was probably a bit of a forgettable one. Now, I did bring out a video on The Room, which I personally quite like, because I've now, started to incorporate actual film footage into my videos, because there's a way of doing it without getting done in by copyright. So yeah, that's the new formula, guys. I will be using film footage. As long as I don't get, oh, hang on, we haven't passed the minute mark, I'm still not allowed to swear yet, but I'm hopefully not going to get done for copyright anytime soon. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Other than that, I also brought out a video on the Twilight series. I didn't even watch that many movies this month. Now, I watched 19, but like in past months, I'd be watching over 30. So this wasn't a big month for me movies wise. I'm back to college, this is why this is all happening, and normally on the days where I would have been off work and off college, I would have used those as my days to binge a load of movies. That didn't happen in February, and March is going to be a busy month too. But anyway, getting all that out of the way, if you would like to subscribe, that would be pretty great. We are hoping to reach 700 subscribers soon enough. That would be amazing if we could hit 700 soon. And yeah, I'm just gonna start talking about all the films I watched this month. Firstly, I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. If you watched what I watched in January, I said the plan was to watch a bit of Kubrick this month. I watched a bit. I didn't watch as much as I would have hoped to, but I watched a lot of Kubrick. Well, I watched some of the Kubrick movies I hadn't seen before. And the first one was 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is an interesting movie to talk about. It's a bit of a spectacle. It's something you would study. You would study this movie. This might be annoying for big fans of this movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was it's like masterful cinema, but it's not the most entertaining movie from start to finish. It is more a movie that you have to study and dissect, and then, come up with your own theories as to what it all meant. Because Kubrick himself has never confirmed anyone's theories about this movie to be true, and that is pretty cool. It's really cool, actually, that this movie, you can have your own interpretation of it. The end is hella confusing on first watch. I have my own theory, but I want to watch it a second time before I give my theory, because I watched this movie with my dad and we both had kind of different theories as to what it all meant, and he hadn't seen the movie in probably, what did he say, like 50 odd years. I'd say in about 40 odd years it had been since he had seen the movie. We had kind of different theories, so I want to watch it one more time before I get into any crazy theories about 2001: A Space Odyssey. I then watched Nightmare Alley. This is a movie that got quite lukewarm reviews. I've seen some people love this movie, and I am on the other end of the spectrum. I was very bored watching this. It was quite an interesting character that Bradley Cooper played, and I liked the world that Guillermo del Toro built, and I thought it was very interesting. I thought the movie was too long though, and although I really liked Bradley Cooper and his character, that wasn't enough to keep me invested the whole way through, because the rest of the characters were rather forgettable in my opinion. Ultimately, how this got nominated for the Oscars, it did, I don't know. I will be making 2 videos on the Oscars. Hopefully one comes out later this week, which will be my predictions, although that could come out next week. I got a lot of videos I want to get out this month. Whoa, no, there's a lot of movies I want to get out this month, and the schedule is a bit loose at the minute. There's certain videos that I know are coming out soon, and I think I will be releasing my Oscar predictions at the end of this week. Ultimately though, yeah, I was quite disappointed by Nightmare Alley. I was really excited going into this. It's an original movie, and you don't get a lot of them in Hollywood anymore, but for me, it was too long. And although I really liked Bradley Cooper's character and his acting, and I thought the direction was very good as well, I was just kind of bored at points, to be honest. Then I watched The Room. I made a video about The Room. Go watch my video, please. Then I watched A Clockwork Orange. This is another Kubrick movie. This one, holy fucking shit, isn't it dark? Do not watch this with your family. Do not watch this with anyone who is squeamish. And if you yourself are squeamish, God, it's a hard watch. Especially like the beginning of this movie is fucking tricky. If you can get through the first 20-25 minutes of this movie, you will finish the movie. But I so get if you just can't make it through the first 20-25 minutes of this movie. I think the acting is fucking amazing. Malcolm McDowell as Alex, who is the leader of this gang in kind of sort of the future England, but it's very strange. Now, this is just the beginning of A Clockwork Orange. The world is kind of like if The Warriors was really seedy. That would be my description of the world in which A Clockwork Orange is set. And yeah, Malcolm McDowell plays Alex, who is literal just scum of the earth, disgusting human beings. You know, they go around doing things I can't talk about on YouTube. I don't want to spoil this movie, but it's so dark. It's so well directed. And one thing I thought was really cool, could be a bit jarring, is the gang members speak in a mixture of English Cockney slang and translated to English Russian slang. That is how they communicate, so that the way they talk is very odd. It just adds another flavour to the movie that makes it really original. It's a very original movie. It is a rule-breaking movie. If you can watch some nasty stuff, then I think you'll appreciate A Clockwork Orange. It is a masterful movie. It's amazing. But yeah, it's also very dark and seedy and graphic and gross. Then I watched Airplane. Oh my god, the pace of this movie is insane. You can't look away for like 20 seconds or you'll miss a joke. And this movie is so packed with jokes. And I'll be honest, I was laughing out loud watching this movie. It is really funny. It is. Not every joke lands, but it's a movie packed, like 90 minutes of just constant jokes. So not all of them are going to land, but a lot of them do. Like, just a random one. It's not spoiling anything. Sure, the plot's actually not even that important. They're on an airplane, that's all I'll tell you. And just the idea that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leads a secret double life as an airplane co-pilot is just one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. And I know that that's not even one of the best jokes. It was just one that particularly got me. Like, I was really laughing when he passed out and they cut back to him when he's in full Lakers gear with the goggles. That was very funny. Yeah, no, Airplane is a great laugh. Really, really, really enjoyed this. It's made me want to watch a lot more comedies from this era, because I've not watched enough comedies from the 80s and 90s, well, early 90s. So I'm gonna really go into them in the next couple of months, I feel, because Airplane is a brilliant advertisement for late 20th century comedy. It is very funny. I then watched Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, and yeah, it's terrible. I've done a video on all the Twilight movies already. This movie is terrible. So go watch my video where I rip it a new one. I then watched Spotlight. It was a well-acted drama. I'll be honest, the direction was kind of nothing to me. I don't think it was directed particularly well. I didn't think the direction stood out. I know it just sounds like I'm taking digs at the director here, but yeah, it's the screenplay for me that really sold this movie. The screenplay is very good, and the acting is very good as well. It's a movie about the outing of all the horrible people in the Catholic Church in Boston, and it is based, well, it is a true story. So if you like a true story movie and you like sort of true crime, then give this a watch, cause yeah, it's a good movie. It is a good movie. I just didn't think the directing was, anything too original. It just sounds like I'm taking digs at the director now. I don't know why. But yeah, that was the only negative note I wrote for this, so kind of honing in on it, I guess. I'm sorry, Tom McCarthy. My bad. I then watched Marriage Story. This movie is still just perfect. I love this movie. It's really sad. It's very funny. It's really well acted. Adam Driver is phenomenal. Scarlett Johansson is phenomenal. Laura Dern is really, really good. Noah Baumbach, the director, did a great job. It's a fucking heartbreaking movie about divorce, and divorce when you have a kid, and divorce when the two divorcees end up living on the opposite ends of America, and all the tricky shit that they have to go through to get the divorce over the line, whilst, you know, still both loving their kid very much. It's heartbreaking. I then watched A Time to Kill, and I had never heard of this movie, shockingly, before I had watched it. And all I'm going to say is Matthew McConaughey's final monologue is fucking powerful. It's really good. It's a good movie. It's the best Joel Schumacher movie I've ever seen. But Matthew McConaughey's monologue at the end of the court hearing is one of the best monologues I've seen in a long time. It's really, really, really good. I then watched Mission Impossible, and I didn't love it. Is that controversial? I think it could be. Now, the song is amazing, the Langley heist is amazing, but like the CGI isn't great. The movie itself, I found myself zoning out at points. I don't really care about any of the characters. The pulling the face to reveal it's a different face, that's so funny. It's so funny, it really is. But I didn't love it. I really liked it, but I just didn't connect to it how a lot of people seem to connect to the Mission Impossible movies as like a switch your brain off movie. Like, I did switch my brain off, but also whilst watching the movie I further switched my brain off and just stopped paying attention to the movie. Then I watched Death on the Nile. This is a movie I actually probably liked more than most people. Now, I love a good murder mystery, and that's exactly what this is. It's a good murder mystery. It's not a great murder mystery. I haven't seen the original one of these. I know it's originally from a book, but I haven't seen the original. I don't know if that Death on the Nile would have been a movie or part of the TV series Poirot, but you know, I haven't seen it either way. I thought Kenneth Branagh was a great Poirot. I thought this movie was well directed. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a very fun murder mystery, and I think that's why I liked it. I don't think I'm scoring this based off of how good the movie is. I'm basing it off more how much I enjoyed the movie. I thought this was a bit of crack. I liked a lot of the characters. I thought the acting was all good. I don't know how I feel about the colours in this movie. It pops a bit too much. It's a bit fake looking. Probably not a popular opinion, but I just thought the colours popped off a little bit too much. But yeah, I thought this movie was just a lot of fun. If you like a good murder mystery, give it a watch, genuinely. Also, there's a cannibal in the movie, so that's great. Now, I'm not going to make cannibal jokes. I'm not stooping to that level just yet. Then watch Jerry Maguire. What fucking genre is this movie? It's a rom-com, it's a sports drama, it's a legal drama, it's just a straight up comedy, it's like a buddy comedy. It is a comedy, but like it goes into all these other subgenres all the time. There's so much in this movie. There's also this whole, like, he doesn't really love her, but oh, sorry, I'm spoiling this. Fuck it, it's Jerry Maguire. It's been out long enough. It gets into this whole thing where he doesn't know if he loves her, but he really, really likes her kid. So he wants to be a great stepdad, but he doesn't want to be married to the mom. That's some heavy stuff, and I think they actually tackled it very well. But let's be real, this movie is the Cuba Gooding Jr. show. He is so fucking great in this movie. I love his character. I would happily see that character get a spin-off. He's so good in this movie. I then watched Doctor Strangelove, or then watched Doctor Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Accept the Bomb. Love the bomb. Fuck. I then watched Doctor Strangelove and How I Learned to Stop Worrying. No. I then watched Doctor Strangelove and How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. First time. Yeah, this is another Kubrick movie. I found this very funny, actually. And I don't tend to find movies before the 70s that funny all the time. I do feel like sometimes the humour gets a bit dated pre-70s. but I thought this was very funny. I really enjoyed it. I love a lot of the characters. The characters are so outlandish, but it's great. Jack D. Ripper, General Buck, and Captain Mandrake personally are my favourite characters, and I'll be dead honest, a lot of these, now some of them are very obvious, but a lot of these characters I actually don't know who they're a satire of, because I didn't really look into this, the making of the movie, or what it's like, who it's based on. Now obviously some of them are very obvious. It's still got a lot of weight, as Dr. Strangelove and all those other words. I then watched Dallas Buyers Club. Holy shit, this is good. Now I know a lot of people these days are sick of we'll take a small community, well, not a small community, but a community, or a small community, I guess, and we'll highlight their problems, and then a straight white guy comes in and solves it. I know people hate those movies these days, and yeah, if you don't like those movies, that's fair enough. But for me personally, I really enjoyed Dallas Buyers Club. I thought Matthew McConaughey is amazing in this movie. I thought Jared Leto was amazing in this movie. I thought this movie was incredibly moving. I thought the end was incredibly moving, and the whole story, of a guy, he's a homophobe, he gets AIDS, and of course, like at the height of the AIDS epidemic, he sets up a buyers club in Dallas to try and get what he felt was, the right stuff to treat AIDS patients, because it worked on him. And then the whole drama between setting up this buyers club and none of these drugs actually being legal despite they are working. So the government are trying to close him down, which, is kind of him fighting for his own life, but I suppose also fighting for the lives of all of his customers. But he is fighting for his own life, really, here against the government, and it's a very, very good drama in my opinion. I really like Dallas Buyers Club. Then watched The Dark Knight. It's still class. I then watched Batman Begins. It's still very good. Not enough Liam Neeson though. I then watched Licorice Pizza. Now, okay, this is a fun hangout movie. It's sort of like a very distant cousin to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where, it's set in the time that Paul Thomas Anderson grew up, and I love the acting in this movie. The girl from Haim, whose name I can't remember, I know her surname's Haim, but I can't remember her first name, and, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. I think that's pretty cool, actually, that his first ever acting gig in a feature film is with Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, that's pretty cool. Alana Haim and Cooper Hoffman. There we go. No, I really like the acting, and it's very Paul Thomas Anderson, this movie. If you've seen Boogie Nights, it's got that kind of humor, I suppose. And Bradley Cooper's cameo in this movie is really good. It's probably my favorite part of the movie. Now, the big thing that everyone seems to be contending against this movie, if that's even a real sentence, I don't know if grammatically what I said there made sense, but the fact that there's a 10-year age gap between 25-year-old Alana Haim's character and 15-year-old Cooper Hoffman's character, and people don't seem to like that, and they seem to think it's gross, and it is a bit, to be honest. It's a tricky one. I think Paul Thomas Anderson tackled it perfectly? No, I don't. I think he tackled it very well, but I just don't know why. I don't see the necessity of, why don't you just make him 18? I don't know why you had to make him 15. Like, yeah, he's like this 15-year-old entrepreneur, and that's really impressive because he's 15 and an entrepreneur. But like, he could just be 18, and that would still be impressive that he's an entrepreneur. I don't get why he had to be 15. And I suppose then people would be like, oh, well, then you didn't get the movie or something, and maybe I didn't. But I just thought that big old age gap was a bit unnecessary. It's a fun movie to watch, but like, also that weird, just blatantly racist Asian joke is so strange. It really sticks out like a sore thumb. It's really fucking weird, actually. Like, I know people will be like, oh, you can't laugh about anything these days, but like, it's just a strange joke that, like, I don't get why that's in there. It's bizarre. But overall, it is a fun watch. I was kind of disappointed by this though. Just like Nightmare Alley, I thought I was going to love this movie, and I just enjoyed it. To be honest, I enjoyed it. I then watched Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping, and fuck this, fuck everyone, fuck being a big pretentious critic. I thought this shit was hilarious. I loved this movie. It was so funny. Andy Samberg is so funny in this movie. Genuinely. I don't care if it's like, it's kind of SNL humor, but I feel like I don't really laugh at SNL that much anymore. Like, I'd see a lot of old clips and I'd find it hilarious, and the odd clip of, you know, your Pete Davidsons and your Colin Josts are quite funny, but ultimately I'm not a huge fan of SNL humor, and yet I found this movie to be absolutely hilarious. Yeah, ultimately, great comedy. I'll be honest. Stick this on when you're sad. It'll make you laugh. It's a satire about the pop industry these days. Well, the pop industry in like 2012. And I think it's a pretty good satire. And finally, I watched The Crying Game. One of the best Irish movies ever made. Forrest Whitaker's pretty good in this movie. His accent is a bit choppy, but he's pretty good in this movie. I'm afraid the fuse has just gone in my house. Or maybe the power is gone. I'm not sure. Either way, the movie, it's going to be a bit dark for a second. So, sorry about that. Oh. And it's come back. No, it hasn't. Fuck me. Disaster. Sorry about this. My ring light has decided to just die. It's great. Good job. So I'm gonna load up the PlayStation and look up a white screen on YouTube and get the telly to just flash a white screen at my face for the remainder of this. I'm literally on the last movie. Like, come on. Could the fuse not have gone in like 20 minutes? Why 20? It could have gone in 5 minutes. There's not that long left of this video. Please, come on. And we're back. Yeah, The Crying Game, one of the best Irish movies ever made. The twist is very out of nowhere. Did not see it coming. Thankfully didn't have it spoiled for me. And people do say... I didn't even have the microphone on there. This is just great. This is the best ending to a video ever. I love this. The Crying Game, one of the best Irish movies ever made. Yeah, no, the twist came out of nowhere. I didn't have it spoiled for me. I'm going to try and wrap this video up as quick as I can because, to be honest, this seems cursed. Yes, it was a great movie. The twist came out of nowhere. People seem to think this movie didn't age very well. To that I say, listen, if that's your opinion, that's okay. I really like this movie. I thought that the acting was very good, and to be honest, if you want to watch this movie, it's about an IRA soldier taking a British soldier captive. That's all I'm going to tell you. Don't even look up who's in this movie. Don't look up the cast. That's a spoiler. Just don't spoil this movie for yourself. Give it a watch. Form your own opinion on it. It feels like now I'm shouting at people. Right. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. The next video should be my Oscar predictions. If not, it's probably my reaction to The Batman. It could be something totally different though, who knows. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, please like the video, please comment what you thought of the video, and yeah, see you soon. Thanks.